What's going on, Titan Nation? Welcome to another edition of Titans in Truth. I am your host, Chris, aka Blue Enforcer, and I got a very good show for you today as we are getting ready for the opening of the preseason. We got our first preseason game coming up against the Green Bay Packers Thursday. So that will be coming up very shortly. So we have a very big show to talk about, and I'm going to go over some of the practices that happened last week that I was able to attend, and we had a couple of roster moves that happened as well. So we're definitely going to get into that. And what am I looking for in this game against the Green Bay Packers? What am I going to be tuning into Thursday night as I take a look at this team and see what we're going to do? And so I want to begin talking about the practices from this weekend. I was able to attend a couple of practices. I went to the one at Centennial High School, which was very well attended, and I think they said they had over 7,500 people there, which I thought was a amazing crowd. It was loud. It was it was packed. A lot of cars, a lot of traffic. So I really enjoyed myself there. Got some decent footage there. You can go back and take a look on the Titans in Truth fan page, the TNT Enforcers on Facebook, as well as the Titans in Truth Instagram page to see some of the pictures and some of the videos from Friday night's practice. And so what I saw from that practice that I was impressed with definitely was just the overall tempo of the team, the overall play of the team. I think both sides did pretty well. There were some nice catches. I think Corey Davis had a nice catch on the side. Dion Lewis took a broken play, and he took it for about 38 yards. Darius Jennings, I believe, caught a touchdown pass. If I'm not mistaken, Corey Davis had a touchdown pass as well. Logan Ryan nearly had an interception also. And I really noticed Harold Landry looked really good also. He's going to be a guy that's contributing a lot because, with the Rackpo being down, Harold Landry's going to get a lot of run with the first team. So he's probably going to get quite a bit of action in that game against the Green Bay Packers. I thought that was very impressive. Of course, I did enjoy I did talk to Corey Davis for a second after the scrimmage. And I got a shout out from the master of MMCMB, my man catching no balls, Coach Kerry Coombs. Got a video with him as well, and you will see that on the TNT Enforcers page as well. So definitely take a look at that, and I will definitely show that out on here as well for you. So
my man catch no balls himself, Coach Kerry Coombs. How you doing?
I'm great.
Hey, thank you.
Going from that, like I said, I observed a lot of things on both sides. I think there was a lot of a good on the offensive side of the ball. I thought Marcus was very fluid in some of his throws, and was trying to connect to some receivers and things like that. Now I did notice some drops as well. That the chemistry of the offense is still trying to come along, but they had their moments. But I think defensively, the defense did very well. And the defense has done very well pretty much the entire offseason. So that gives kudos to Coach Dean Pease and the defense on that. Now, Saturday was a little bit of a different story. I thought Saturday, it was a beautiful day for some football. Even though it was very hot and a little muggy, I thought it would be, a little bit more of what we did Friday night, a little bit more scrimmaging, a little bit more hard-nosed practice. Instead, it really wasn't that. They were practicing a bunch of situations. And I guess they figured, well, we're in Nissan Stadium. We better practice some situations we may run into in here in some actual games. And I thought some were a little bit ridiculous, like they practiced how to take a safety, and then they, practiced the victory formation, even though that is probably the best formation in football. That's the one formation that every team and every fan wants to see at the end of the game is a victory formation. But I mean, besides that, they also did some drills that, throwing the ball away. If you're getting flushed out of the pocket or feeling the rush, and they did some free kicks with, and they did a lot of special team. They did some onside kicks. They also did some. They did a free kick from a safety, and also they did some punt work with, letting the ball bounce and trying to drop it inside of the 20 or inside of the 10-yard line, some things like that. So I mean, a little bit uninspiring in my opinion, but I mean, it was good to see the guys out there. I met some of the fans, and that was pretty cool. And I think the highlight of my day on Saturday was after practice. I have a project that I'm working on, of course, as some of you may know, and for some of you that don't, I have a baby blue tighten up flag. As y'all can see behind me, I have a navy tighten up flag, and that's how it looks right there. I have the navy, but I also have a baby blue tighten up flag, and I'm kind of working on getting that filled, like all of Titan and all of Up signed by players and even coaches and things like that. So Saturday, it was kind of it was a beautiful day. I got Mike Keith and Amy Wells signed. Of course, they were with the broadcast team. Jayon Brown signed. Also, Coach Mike Vrabel signed the flag. And last but not least, the man himself, number 8, Marcus Mariota, did some autographs with some fans, and I got my flag signed. A lot of other people got their stuff signed with Marcus on there. I liked that. I think somebody had a Oregon helmet, an Oregon Ducks helmet, and got Marcus's signature on that. And I thought that would be cool. That's going to be worth some money. Without a doubt. I know they have that. I know some people have the Marcus Mariota Oregon Duck jersey. And I mean, if you have his signature on it, it's pretty authentic. So I like that a lot. I thought that part was pretty cool and things like that. But, overall, yeah, that practice could have been a little bit more, but it really wasn't. But hey, I enjoy anytime I get to watch my team play, and despite the hot, but I enjoyed it. And another development of that practice was that morning, the Tennessee Titans signed free agent safety Kenny Vaccaro, formerly of the New Orleans Saints. And of course, that was because before the scrimmage on Friday, Jonathan Cyprien went down towards ACL. Of course, they put him on IR. He is out for the season. And that was kind of unfortunate for him, because I know he was trying to do some things well and really help this defense. And I know a lot of people probably haven't said this, but I'm going to say it. I think Kenny Vaccaro is an upgrade, in my honest opinion. Probably, you kind of have it by addition by subtraction. I mean, Jonathan Cyprien, a lot of times, I just did not think was that good, and I think Vaccaro could be better. So we're going to find out how that goes. I mean, he's only had a couple of practices under his belt, and, I think some of the people were very impressed with him in his workout, which is why he was signed. And he's already getting reps with the first team. He's going to get quite a bit of playing time against the Green Bay Packers. Probably not a lot. He'll probably get a couple of series in there to get his feet wet and things like that. So I think that's what I would expect. But, he's probably not. He's going to probably play with the first team and maybe a little bit with the second team. But I doubt he plays that long with that, because he's already been getting some first team reps along with Kevin Byard. So I like that a whole lot. So that was a good signing. And I know a lot of people are also wondering what happened to Eric Reed, because Eric Reed was supposed to be here as well. Why didn't we sign Eric Reed? Well, Eric Reed was trying to get here from San Francisco, but his flight ended up getting canceled because of bad weather. And so he wasn't able to get in, sooner or maybe they decided to go ahead and go forward. Once they found that out, they decided to go forward with Kenny Vaccaro, because I guess they figured, hey, we need a safety now. We need somebody that may be able to practice because we got a game in a few days. I honestly think if this was about a week or 2 weeks ago, then I think the Titans would have waited and would have tried to reschedule Eric Reed and had him come here and get a tryout in before they made a decision. But, you know, with a time crunch, I think they decided, you know what, Vaccaro is just as good, and we're going to go ahead and sign him, which I think is a good move because, I mean, I was not expecting to have it where we have a couple of good options at safety in this situation. I mean, Vaccaro and Eric Reed should have been signed with somebody by now, and yet to have both of those guys available was a blessing in disguise, in my honest opinion. So I really like the move with Kenny Vaccaro. I think he could really do some good, along with Kevin Byard, Adoree Jackson, Malcolm Butler, and Logan Ryan. So I really do like that. Now, of course, there have also been some injuries as well. The aforementioned Corey Davis, of course, he played Friday. You know, he played in the scrimmage Friday night, did very well. Saturday ended up having some kind of an injury, or he ended up going into the locker room by himself, and he did not return. So I don't know what the problem is there with Corey Davis. Coach Vrabel basically said that, you know, he will be fine, and, you know, there's nothing to worry about. And of course, I'm going to get into some stuff about Coach Vrabel a little bit later. Also, besides him, of course, Brian Orakpo and Rashaan Evans have missed quite a bit of time. You're probably not going to see much of them in this first game. Of course, Corey Davis not either. Rashard Matthews has been out all offseason. I'm thinking it's a hamstring injury, or it could be something more than that. We don't know. Again, that's something I'm about to get into about Coach Vrabel and things like that. And, of course, we know Jack Conklin still recovering from the torn ACL against the Patriots during the playoffs. And here are some things that I noticed in those couple of practices. I really like the defense. I think the defense is going to be top 10 for sure. I think they're definitely going to be top 10, and they may even crack the top 5. I think they could be good both. They could be top 10 in both rushing and against the pass as well, in my honest opinion. I mean, you got a trio of good corners, and you got LaShawn Sims back there as a fourth. And then you also got, of course, Kevin Byard and Kenny Vaccaro. So I like that. But, you know, as long as we have a good pass rush in the front with Harold Landry, Orakpo, Morgan, Casey, Daquan Jones, then, you know, they have a great shot of being a top 10 defense in all categories of the defense. So I really do like that. I think Marcus is going to be fine. I know some people are concerned about him throwing the interceptions. And I was listening to the radio, and then a gentleman who called into a show made a very good point. And the question was, you know, and I mean, not the question, but a comment was, maybe Marcus is throwing interceptions, and not so much that the offense is just really bad. It's just the defense is doing very well. And that very well could and should be the case, is that, you know what, hey, the defense is just having better days. And anybody will tell you, even with a new coaching staff, the defense is going to come along a little bit faster than the offense will. So, you know, with the offense, there's a whole lot of different things you got to really look at and know what's going on, and, you know, situations and things like that, as far as knowing what routes to run. You know, whether to call it a run or a pass in this situation, who to have in there, things like that. So, I think offensively it takes time to come along, but I think defensively we're looking very, very strong. And let me get to Mike Vrabel for just a second. Mike Vrabel is worse than Mike Mularkey when it comes to press conferences. And I don't know if I would say he would challenge Ken Whisenhunt. Maybe I'm going a little bit too far with this, but here's my thing. with Mike Mularkey in the press conferences, at least one thing about Mike Mularkey, he's going to be completely honest. He's going to tell you everything. He ain't going to hold nothing back. He ain't going to hide anything or, anything like that, or make you try to figure out what's going on. He's just going to tell you straight up the way it is. If there's an injury, he's going to say, hey, you know what? This player had a shoulder injury, went to the locker room. They said the x-rays were negative. We're probably going to be looking at it day to day or maybe week to week. And, he expect he'll probably be out maybe in the next week or two, and then he'll be coming back. Mike Vrabel doesn't say anything. He does a lot of talking, but not really saying much. I mean, especially when it comes to injuries. I mean, Mike Vrabel said it himself that he is not going to disclose any information on injuries until he absolutely has to, which will be week 1 of the regular season when you have to submit an injury report. He said, only then at that time, that is when I will actually talk about injuries or put in an injury report when that time comes. Other than that, he doesn't want to talk about injuries at all. So I mean, like with Corey Davis, we don't know why he went out Saturday, and we don't know when he'll expect to return. Arak Poe, we know it was something with the shoulder, but that was about it. Rashaan Evans, at first they said it was heat-related issues that kept him out, but now, he's been out he's missed almost 8, 9, 10 days of practice, so it's got to be something more than heat-related. And, once again, Rashard Matthews has been out all offseason, but they keep saying it is a undisclosed injury. I mean, all of them are undisclosed because he will not disclose them. It's like he hates talking about injuries, or he just hates talking about anything because it's like he's afraid to give away a strategy. He's afraid that somebody's going to pick up on it and stuff like that. So I don't know what that issue is, but it's a lot of coach speak, which I guess we have to learn to accept it because that's just the way he's going to do it. And I mean, in all honesty, and I cannot believe I'm going to say this name, but Coach Vrabel, don't y'all think he's acting a little bit like Belichick, or Belichick rather? Don't you think he's being a little Belichickian with the way he does the press conference? Because Belichick, he don't like talking about injuries either. And I mean, it seemed like he's very vague with the media up there. But hey, they accept it because he's got 5 Super Bowl rings. So, I mean, if Mike Vrabel wins, 3 to 5 Super Bowl rings in the next 10 to 20 years, then I don't think we as the media are going to complain about how he conducts a press conference at all. So, I mean, that's just my little issue with Mike Vrabel, is that he does a lot of Bill Belichick type things as far as the press conferences and just, not saying anything. But I like the intensity on the field. I like the action. I think that's pretty good, and that is indicative of Coach Vrabel. So I do think that part is very impressive, and we'll just have to see how everything does going forward from there. Okay, and now, before we go into the second half of the show, definitely want to give a shout out to a sponsor of Titans and Truth, and that is my cousin LaCrystal Cleveland of Craft Gassman Creations. And as y'all know, I've been talking about Craft Gassman Creations for over a year now, and I mean, she makes a lot of nice stuff as far as shirts and everything with that. She made her dad, my uncle, a bathrobe because he loves the Dallas Cowboys. So she made embroidered a Dallas Cowboy logo on a bathrobe and made it for him. And she makes a lot of shirts for like birthdays and weddings, reunions, and things like that. And of course, she made the Titans and Truth shirt, which of course, if anybody that knows about Titans and Truth, y'all have seen me in this shirt. Y'all have seen me in this shirt, wearing it, around, in games and stuff like that. So, that's major. and of course my information being on the back and stuff like that. So that's the Titans and Truth shirt that she made. She got me the navy blue, the baby blue sweatshirt, and a hoodie in gray. So definitely hit her up. Definitely hit her up at Craft Gatsby Creations on her Facebook page under the Crystal Cleveland. If you're really serious about getting a shirt like that, you could definitely do that, because if you're getting a Titans and Truth shirt from her, you're not only supporting her, but you're supporting me as well. And so that would be great. I would love to see some other Titan fans wearing Titans and Truth shirts. So let's make a movement on this, y'all. Let's get that going, and let's make something happen with Titans and Truth. Let's make it a movement, y'all, and make it a really big thing around the city. And so I thank her for that. And of course, you can check her out not only on Facebook, but also on Instagram as well. And I'll be putting up some stuff about, her and things like that. So be on the lookout for that. And again, hit her up at some point. And if y'all really do want a shirt and you're not able to get to her, get to me and I can get in touch with her. And I'm really serious about that. So definitely try to get up with me if y'all want a Titans and Truth shirt. And, I can get you in connection with her on that and get that going so she can get that to you. And so now that I've given some thoughts on the practices that I've been to in this past week, we are in game week. So, we're going to be, less than 12 hours away from kickoff. So, coming up tonight is we're going up against the Green Bay Packers in the first preseason game. So it'll be preseason game number 1. And of course, as I figured this about a week or two ago, Aaron Rodgers for the Green Bay Packers will not play in this game. He hasn't played in a preseason opener since 2015. And I mean, he's Aaron Rodgers, which I kind of understood that. So, I mean, I didn't find it a shock when I found that out. I expected that Aaron Rodgers really wasn't going to play. But we're going to find out some things now, because we get to go up against another team and not just against ourselves. So, we're going to see some things that are going to happen. And I'm going to give you some things that I'm going to be looking for in this game as I watch. What am I going to be watching for? Who am I going to be watching? And some things like that. But do expect it's going to be very, very vanilla. Coach LaFleur or Coach Pease is not really going to open up the playbook at all. They're going to run a lot of basic plays. So after the first team come out, it may get a bit boring, but you want to see how the younger guys who are fighting to make this roster do. And that's really what the preseason is all about. Yeah, the first part of the game, you want to see the starters get into some kind of a chemistry and into some kind of a rhythm, into a groove. But then after that, after about the first couple of series or something like that, or the first quarter, then it's mainly all about the backups. A lot of starters are going to be out. And for example, Marcus Mariota is probably only going to play a series or two. And I would venture to say he's probably only going to play one series. That's it. Play one series, get him out of there. So he'll probably hand off the ball maybe 2 or 3 times, maybe make a pass or 2, and then that's it. And so, you want to see a little bit of progress out of the offense and things like that, get into a groove. Defense, same thing. I think, with Jarrell and Derek Morgan and, the secondary, I think they play, maybe 2 series, and that's about it. They'll get them out of there too. I don't think Jarrell Casey plays but 1 series. I think Malcolm Butler and Logan Ryan will probably play 1 series. Now, Dory may play 2 series along with LaShawn Sims, but I think Kenny Vaccaro may play a couple of series, and I think Byers only going to play a series or 2. So that's just what I think on that. But this is what I'm looking for from both the first team offense and the first team defense. First, from the first team offense, I'm looking for let's see if Taywan Taylor or Tajay Sharp can make any plays. You know, do they do something to get a first down or to stretch the field or something like that? I don't know if Mike Campanaro is playing, but we'll see what he does. You know, we're going to see some guys like Darius Jennings get a lot of run, maybe with the first team. I'll be interested to see if maybe a Deontay Burnett gets a run with the first team as well. So we're going to definitely find that out. I don't expect Delaney Walker to play much, but I want to see what Jonnu Smith has to offer along with Luke Stocker also. So I just want to see a little bit of consistency, a little bit of a rhythm, and, you know, there'll probably be a little bit of play with Dion Lewis. Derrick Henry will probably play a little bit. So I do want to just see how the offense looks as a whole going up against a different team. So that's really what I want to see. First team defense, I just want to see them, you know, maybe cause a 3 and out or 2, maybe get a turnover, just cause a little bit of problem, cause a little bit of havoc. And I want to see the pass rush. I want to see how Harold Landry does with the first defense, along with Derek Morgan and Jarrell Casey. I want to see how they do. I'm going to be looking for Will Compton, see how he looks with Wesley Woodyard. Excuse me for that. And then also, just want to see some consistent pass rush, and I just want to see them get after Brett Huntley and Deshaun Kaiser and force some turnovers. That's what I'll be looking at from the first team, maybe cause a turnover or two in there. And I want to see rookies making an impact. Guys, again, like Deontay Burnett and Harold Landry. You know, I want to see what Dane Cruikshank can do. I'm sure Luke Falk's going to get some action as well. And I have 5, maybe 6 players that I'm going to be really paying attention to, and these are going to be guys to watch. So I got 6 players that I'm really looking at as far as I want to see what they can do. I want to see if they can make an impact. And these are some of my players to watch. First off, Harold Landry, the second-round draft pick out of Boston College, just playing against a different team. I want to see that bend. I want to see them the pass rush moves. You know, he's been catching up with Taylor Lewan after reps, and, you know, Taylor Lewan has been schooling him, you know, on, hey, these are, you know, he's basically helping him with reps and telling him, hey, you know, you could do this a little bit differently. You know, this type of move works against me. Things like that. So basically, you know, Taylor Lewan has been, you know, helping mentor Harold Landry, saying, hey, these are strengths and weaknesses in my blocking game. You could use this against other guys. And at the same time, you know, Taylor Lewan may be learning something from Harold Landry as far as blocking a guy like him on Sundays. And we know Taylor Lewan is one of the best tackles in the game, but you can always learn more. So I'm really interested to see how Harold Landry does against a different opponent and not Taylor Lewan or Dennis Kelly. Another guy is Kenny Vaccaro, the new guy. I mentioned him earlier. Definitely look forward to seeing how he does in his first game as a Titan, and he's only been with the team for less than a week. So we're going to see how he does in this defense. I mean, I kind of expect him to struggle maybe a little bit, but I think he could produce some. So we're going to see, you know, because, I mean, he was only with this team from Saturday on. So he hasn't been a Titan a full week yet, and he's already, you know, getting first team reps and already going to play in a game for the Titans coming up, you know, Thursday on this day. So that's going to be big. Darius Jennings is another. You know, can he make an impact? He's made a little bit of an impact in practice. Will he make an impact in tonight's game? So we're definitely going to see if he, you know, does more than what he's done in practice and make an effect in make a big effect on the big game. Same thing with Deontay Burnett. Burnett, maybe not overly fast, but he has consistently gotten open. He's been consistent in catching the football. You know, I don't think I've seen Deontay Burnett drop much, to be perfectly honest. I think he may have dropped 1 or 2 balls the whole time I've seen him practice, and I've seen him practice quite a bit. And then, of course, there's Akrum Watley, the undrafted running back from Iowa. What I'm looking for with him is to see if he could beat out David Fluellen for the third running back spot, because I think they're only going to keep 3 running backs. Maybe they'll keep 4. I'm not sure about that, but I think, he has to try to play at least to get himself into the third position, to where, they have to make a decision on David Fluellen. He's a shifty back. He's a lot like Dion Lewis. David Fluellen is a little bit, I should say, like Derrick Henry. Akron Watley is a little bit like Dion Lewis. So they may keep 4 running backs in there, but he's got to earn it. And I want to see what he could do against a defense as well. So number 38, Akron Watley, definitely look out for him. And last but not least, is not necessarily a player, it's a unit. MMCMB. That's what I'm definitely going to be looking at. My man catch no balls. I just want to see if this secondary, we may not really find this out in the preseason, but I think within the first couple of games of the regular season, we're going to know if this defense and this secondary in particular is legit. We are definitely going to find that out very, very soon. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. I want to see how Malcolm Butler does in his first game as a Titan. Definitely want to see Adoree Jackson in his second year. And, Vaccaro and Kevin Byard. I've been talking about this all show. I want to see how these guys all mesh together as a unit, because they're going to have to work together. They're going to have to communicate. So I think that's something that I'm definitely going to be looking forward to in this game. So, of course, kickoff is going to be at 7 o'clock from Lambeau Field. And I'm definitely going to be watching, whether I'm at the gym or I'm at some restaurant. I will definitely be watching. So I'm going to be tuning in, and I'll probably put in some updates. I may put some posts out on the TNT Enforcers page. So definitely be on the lookout for that. And again, make sure y'all follow. If you're not following TNT Enforcers on Facebook, what are you missing? You are missing something. Come on and get in there. Also on Instagram at Titans_in_truth, the Titans and Truth Instagram page. Also Twitter at TNT Blue Enforcer. Follow me there as well. And of course, also be looking at the website www.titansandtruth.wixsite.com/titansandtruth. Some more footage will be going on there, as well as some pictures and everything. I'm going to update that website this week as well. So, looks like that's about everything I wanted to cover as far as what I think will happen in this game. Definitely hope to see again how the first team offense looks against the Packers defense, and how the first team defense look against a Aaron Rodgers-less offense up in Lambeau Field. And it's great to be in a historic spot. So that's going to be huge for them. I know a lot of them are looking forward to their first trip to Lambeau Field. Marcus's first trip, and some other guys, they're making their first trip to Green Bay, Wisconsin. And I mean, for some of these players, this is going to be a highlight of their lives, getting to play in that particular stadium. But they're fighting for jobs. So, hey, let the fight for jobs begin. Football is officially back, and it is time to get some action going. So, ladies and gentlemen, again, make sure y'all follow the channels, follow the pages. And I know if I probably forgot something, I'll mention it on the next show. But thank you guys very much for tuning in to Titans and Truth. I'm again your man, Chris, a.k.a. Blue Enforcer. Y'all make sure y'all follow me. And I will be talking to y'all again soon. Y'all have a good time and tighten up. Let's go win this game.